Google Flights has become a go-to resource for travelers because it is a quick yet powerful tool to price out flight options around the globe. Many of you are probably regular users, and if you're not, I encourage you to give it a try. But to me, it felt like Google Flights was historically a bit of a one-trick pony. It has long been a great tool to help you find the best flights to your destination, but it couldn't help you with finding a place to sleep that night. Now, in Google's defense, they aren't explicitly in the travel business. They are mainly in the information business. But that is slowly changing as Google has somewhat quietly and quickly rolled out some major updates and advances to its hotel search tool, which has built that tool into a fully featured companion to Google Flights. And there are many things that stand out to me, from the incorporation of reviews and pricing from many different OTAs or online travel agencies like Expedia and Hotels.com, to the integration with all of the information available in Google Maps. So let's take a tour around Google Hotels. Hey everyone, this is Ben, and welcome back to ExploreInformed, where we dig into the details of travel, so the next time you go exploring, you can go better informed. And today we're taking a tour together through Google's Hotels search. Perhaps the easiest way to access the Google Hotels search functionality is to simply search hotels in the city you're looking for. We're going to be searching in Houston. And right at the top of our search results, we get this embedded search tool, which is the Google Hotels search tool. You can also access the tool by just searching hotels.google.com, and then you land on this landing page with the search criteria. And that's just like how you might access Google Flights by typing flights.google.com. Once you hit the search screen, you're presented with a couple of different things. One at the top here, you'll see the search criteria, the city, the dates, the number of travelers, a price filter, a filter for guest rating, a filter for amenities, brands, which are again your hotel chains, and then a more filters option with a couple other things. One being the hotel class, so 2-star, 3-star, etc. And then a deal filter here, which just highlights maybe anything that is on sale or available for a rate that's lower than average for those dates. Next, we have the actual search results. We have 1,054 places in Houston. So we have many different pages of hotels. You can sort by best match, lowest price, or highest rating. And then we also have a map. And this map updates when you move the map around, so these results will be refreshed. And it's a little bit hard to use the map to actually find a specific hotel that you want. But what it is useful for is kind of showing you where the hotels are clustered, on different highways or maybe in downtown, and then kind of what the general prices look like for each cluster. I can see that some of the hotels in the outlying areas are pretty affordable, but if I look kind of in the downtown corridor, I see some higher prices. So again, that's kind of a great way to find an area to then filter down into and dig a little bit deeper for a specific property. So I'm going to click into one of these hotels. I think I'm going to pick the Omni Houston, and then I'm presented with the Omni Houston kind of landing page, and I see a couple different things. At the top, I have a few different tabs, one for pricing, reviews, location, about, and photos. And then on the page itself, I have a couple of things. One, I have an overview here with the price, and then a link to book. Just a little bit of information about the location and what I can do nearby, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then we have the availability across a couple different sites. First, the official site for Omni, which is probably omni.com or Omni Hotels. We have Expedia, pricing, and there's more if we click through. And then if we scroll down, we have kind of a highlight of some other hotels available nearby, a review summary here with the rating for the hotel, which in this case it looks pretty good. So I want to start by looking at reviews, and one of the coolest things I think about reviews is that Google incorporates reviews from many different travel sites and OTAs, which again are online travel agencies. So we have 1,999 reviews from TripAdvisor, we have Expedia, Orbitz, Priceline, Travelocity, Booking.com, Hotels.com, and then we also can sort by business travel or families. So you have a lot of different information that you can then click down into to get more detail. If I click on TripAdvisor, the reviews here are sorted by reviews specifically from TripAdvisor. You can also click into reviews. If I click here, it will take me to TripAdvisor, to that specific hotel's page. What I can't quite figure out is if I can actually read more of this specific review. This may have been a longer review that drags on a little bit further. If I click the read more, I'm not presented with that exact review necessarily. You can also click different buttons to get Expedia, Orbitz, or you can select from the drop down here. I can look at stuff from hotels.com. I can sort for the most recent reviews. Those are over a year ago. But if I look at TripAdvisor, I get something from a month ago, a month ago, a month ago. I can look at the highest scores, so all 5 of 5s, and I can also look at the lowest score, so 1 of 5. And then I think this is actually kind of helpful. sometimes to really see what it is that bothers some folks. But perhaps the most useful thing is the search review bar, where you can actually search for specific things. Say I want to find out about traveling with children, see if anybody mentioned that. Okay, no one mentioned that on TripAdvisor. Let's search for all. A couple people mentioned traveling with children. I recommend a staycation. We've gotten free baby travel kits. Maybe I want to find out about the hotel pool. If I search pool, I get a kind of a collection of reviews that mention the keyword pool. So there's a lot of functionality here under reviews, and kind of the neat thing is that it's really a composite of data from all sorts of different sources. If we click into location, then we get some information about some of the different amenities or activities around this property and where it is specifically in Houston. We get an overview, kind of a score based on proximity to activities or things to do, transit, and the airport. And then we click on things to do here, we get kind of a list of some activities or things to do that are nearby. Here we have the hotel. Google is telling us that we can go to the Houston Arboretum or Memorial Park. So that's kind of an easy way to see what are some activities or things that you could do kind of right in the close proximity of your hotel, and Google presents them to you kind of very neatly here on a Google map. We can also look at getting around and find some specific transportation information. In this case, transit stops, which are probably not quite as useful in Houston, but may be useful in other big cities where there's a little bit more of a robust transit system. We also get information about airport access. So the hotel is located here, and Google is telling us that Houston Hobby is right down here, 31 minutes away by taxi. And then George Bush is located north of the hotel and 28 minutes away by taxi. And note, it's an hour and a half if you take public transport. The About section just provides really a brief overview of amenities and some highlights and some offerings, which are generally pretty generic stuff that they're probably pulling from the hotel website or the hotel chain itself. And if we click into photos, kind of like TripAdvisor or Expedia or other sites, we're presented with photos of the hotel. And if you watch my TripAdvisor video, you heard about my pet peeve, which is kind of hotel provided photos. I don't like these kind of marketing photos that don't always paint the clearest picture about what a property is actually like. But the good news is if we sort by sources, we can sort by hotels from visitors and get actual photos from people who visited the property and get what I think is a more transparent picture into what the property itself is actually like. We can also sort by categories, looking at amenities, rooms. So we saw the pool, we can see the rooms, food and drink, the pictures of the exterior. So that is the photo functionality, and even though Google first presents us with these kind of glamorous professional photos, we can click into the visitor photos and get a pretty clear picture of what the property is actually like. And last but certainly not least is the pricing tab, and on the pricing tab we get the availability for the dates we searched across a number of different sources. The very first one usually is the official site, which would be Omni Hotels itself, and then we'll get Expedia, Priceline, Orbitz, and that kind of thing. And this allows you to kind of pretty quickly do some price shopping and see how different prices compare across the different sources. You'll see most of them are pretty close or almost exactly the same, $183 per night for this specific property on June 11th. So if we click on this first link, it will take us directly to omnihotels.com. We'll kind of enter that hotel and the nights we were looking for and present us with the final rate, which is $183, which matches what we saw. Then we can click into the rates pretty quickly and then start a booking. One thing to note too, that these prices are probably the lowest price, and if we click over, we see this is a 21-day advance purchase. It's a full prepay non-refundable rate. So just something to keep in mind, that the prices advertised are not going to be often the most flexible rate. In this case, you have to pay 21 days in advance, and it is non-refundable. You can also click through into Expedia, Priceline, Orbitz, into the other kind of online travel agencies, and you're presented with something similar but a slightly different view. If you click into Expedia, you get search results, but the hotel we're looking at is presented first, and you can then click through again to book that room for those specific rates. So we see the same rate of $183, and it is also marked as non-refundable, which is a discounted rate and can't be refunded even if you choose to cancel or change your booking. So that is Google Hotels. And after these recent updates and enhancements, I think Google Hotels is a pretty action-packed, kind of fully featured companion for Google Flights. So that marks the end of this show. I hope you found this tour of Google Hotels helpful. I am personally looking forward to using it as a research tool for future hotel bookings. If you have a recommendation or a tip about using Google Hotels or even Google Flights, please share with your fellow travelers by commenting down below. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ExploreInformed, or hit the subscribe button if you want to catch more of our future content. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you folks next time.